Hello people, welcome back to more Microsoft Flight Sim. Today we're doing the last part of the training until I can actually start flying in the world probably. So let's get started with this one. Looks like there's 7 trainings. Climb and descend into cloud, lose your outside reference. Okay. What plane are we using? Smooth with your inputs as things can quickly get out of hand. Also, I might adjust the graphics a little bit to get some more motion blur.
We're flying over the UK's Shetland Islands, just below a thick layer of clouds. Up until now, you've been able to look outside to judge the aircraft's attitude and location. What happens when you lose that outside view? That takes us into the world of instrument flight. When you can't use the horizon for reference due to clouds, darkness, or other hindrances to visibility, you'll need to rely on your airplane's instruments. When flying on instruments alone, you'll need to rely on your attitude indicator to see your pitch and roll information. Modern cockpits like this combine several instruments into one electronic display called a primary flight display, or PFD. Stay on heading 270, set full power, and climb up to 4,500 feet. Set full power for the climb.
270, alright. Using the instrument is pretty helpful.
We're climbing up into the cloud layer. Notice how you're starting to lose your outside view. Instead of looking out the canopy, focus your attention on the cockpit instruments. You can maintain wings level using the attitude indicator. Continue climbing to 4,500 feet.
That's gonna take a little bit because this plane is kind of slow at climbing. Unless I increase the pitch trim. Alright, let's see how much faster we can climb now, huh?
Using the vertical speed indicator and the altimeter, level off at 4,500 feet while continuing to maintain a heading of 270. Now fly straight and level at 4,500 feet, getting used to not having an outside horizon for reference.
Trim is too high. Set back to 0.9. Alright, perfect.
Keep us on this heading and take us down to 4,000 feet. Reduce power so that we can descend without gaining speed.
Guess we're descending now. Volume control?
Great. Increase power again for cruise and keep us at 4,000 feet.
Oh wait, everything. Okay, this is just like an updated version of the Cessna. All the stuff are, all the instruments are digitalized in this one. Tuning. Make sure to raise nose a small amount during a turn in order to maintain altitude. For a normal turn, aim for 20-degree bank. Okay, 20 degree.
Tried some climbs and descents, we'll introduce turning. Throughout this lesson, maintain your current altitude of 4,000 feet. Our heading is the direction our nose is pointing, measured in degrees. The main electronic display in front of you is the primary flight display, or PFD. At the bottom center of the PFD, we see the horizontal situation indicator, or the HSI. The HSI shows us the direction our nose is pointing, called our heading. Headings are measured in degrees, with east being 090, south 180, west 270, and north 360. Currently we're heading west. That's 270 degrees. When turning, we want to aim for a bank angle of around 20 degrees. Along the top of the attitude indicator are white lines. Each line represents 10 degrees. Normally, we use about 20 degrees of bank, which is the second white line. Let's try it out. Make a turn to the left onto heading 180 using 20 degrees of bank.
Okay. 20-degree bank.
Keep turning until heading south, at which point smoothly roll back to wings level.
180.
You didn't maintain 4,000 feet while turning.
Oh wow.
Watch your altitude. Maintain 4,000 feet. That's it. Stop turning there and you'll be heading due south, heading 180. Great. Now try and maintain this heading for a short while. Now make a turn to the right onto a heading of 350.
350. Roger. This place is extremely delayed. I mean, the frame rate is not good on this one. Nice, hey. Speed changes. hard, just increase the throttle and decrease it.
We're cruising at 100 knots, maintaining our heading and altitude. Let's look at how we deal with speed changes when flying on instruments. When slowing down, the wings produce less lift. To counter this, you'll need to progressively raise the nose in order to maintain altitude. Give it a try. Reduce power and bring the speed back to 70 knots. Try to maintain 4,000 feet altitude. Remember to adjust the elevator trim so that you don't have to keep putting any pressure on the controls. You need to be able to control altitude while adjusting speed.
That stall indicator is interesting.
Now set power to maintain 70 knots. Try to maintain 4,000 feet altitude. Notice how the nose needs to be a little higher than before to make up for the loss of airspeed. Use the elevator trim to adjust pitch to the new speed and maintain 70 knots for a bit. You need to be able to control altitude while adjusting speed. Maintain 70 knots. You weren't accurate enough with your speed. Great. Now increase power to get your speed back up to 100 knots.
You want to bring back up to 100, okay.
As we speed up, notice how you need to trim nose down to avoid climbing. That's it. Now stabilize at 100 knots. Try to maintain 4,000 feet altitude. Good. Now extend the flaps to 10 degrees. Now set flaps at 20 degrees. With the extra drag, start adding power so you don't drop below your target airspeed of 60 knots. Now stabilize at 60 knots and trim for level flight. Us precisely at 60 knots. Try to maintain 4,000 feet altitude. You lost your speed target. I think a bit more practice may be a good idea.
Oh wow, wow. It's kinda hard to control the stuff at the same time by just one person. Let's go to the next one. I passed though. Of flying the aircraft on instruments, let's look at navigation. There is a worldwide network of radio beacons that pilots use to find their way when flying IFR. The
most common beacon is the VOR. I've tuned the Sumberg VOR into your nav radio, which we're going to fly toward. To get there, we'll use the Course Deviation Indicator, CDI. That's the green arrow and bar on the HSI. I've set the CDI for a course of 170. That means we want to arrive at the VOR on a heading of 170. The CDI shows us if we are on our selected course. If the bar is to the left of center, we need to fly to the left to recapture our course. The bar is currently over to the right, so keep flying on this heading and wait for the CDI bar to start moving towards the middle. Keep us on heading 240 for now.
I missed that. does not work with navigation with DPS. No idea what that means.
This time we'll focus on non-directional beacons, or NDB. The NDB is tuned on the automatic direction finding ADF radio and is shown as a blue needle on the HSI. As Sumberg NDB is tuned, the needle is pointing straight towards it, which is to our right. Maintain 4,000 feet and heading 180, and watch what the needle does.
Needle's moving. Oh, is that this one? Not sure.
Notice how the needle always points directly towards the NDB. As we continue to fly south, the needle moves farther toward the bottom of the HSI. The needle will move whenever we are not traveling directly to or from the NDB. Try to maintain 4,000 feet altitude. You didn't hold your altitude accurately enough. Make a turn to the right, towards the NDB needle.
It's ML27.
Good. Now follow the blue NDB needle all the way to the beacon.
Correct heading. That's the one.
Now see how the needle spins around and points behind us.
Ah.
Wow, great job. You've now taken a look at basic IFR navigation. So next, we'll cover how to get us on the ground.
That's pretty easy. So this is the last one. I also approach and okay, that's a test at the end. There's a NDB and then there's a VOR. Okay, NDB VOR.
So now you've got the basics of flying on instruments. Now we need to get back on the ground. The most common landing aid is the Instrument Landing System, or ILS for short. An ILS uses two directional radio signals, one for lateral guidance called a localizer, and the other for vertical guidance called the glide slope. The localizer provides lateral guidance, which directs you onto the runway centerline. The glide slope provides the intended descent angle onto the runway. The localizer is displayed with the CDI, much
I can't
like
see
in
the
the
damn
VOR
Air
lesson.
Force over there.
Keep flying on a heading of 210 at 1,500 feet, and we'll watch for the localizer to come alive. The localizer is moving now. Make a gentle turn to the right, intercepting the localizer and keeping the CDI in the middle. Try to maintain 1,500 feet until we intercept the glide slope. You needed to stay at 1,500 feet until reaching the glide slope. Good. Now keep the localizer bar centered and maintain 1,500 feet. The glide slope is displayed next to the altimeter on your PFD. If the green glide slope diamond is above center, you are below the glide path. We always start out below the glide slope, as we want to intercept the localizer first. We'll wait for the glide slope to start moving. Try to maintain 1,500 feet until we intercept the glide slope. You needed to stay at 1,500 feet until reaching the glide slope.
Okay. Sounds good. We'll just increase a little bit of thrust, and we'll be all
Here
on
comes the
coursing.
glide slope. Maintain 1,500 feet until it almost reaches the center.
I do not see the glide slope.
Here it comes. Now reduce power a little and start to descend, using the VSI to aim for 500 feet per minute.
Where's the glide slope? I do not see where the glide slope is.
The glide slope is starting to drift away from center. You didn't follow the glide slope accurately enough.
Where's the glide slope?
Keep both the localizer and glide slope indications centered all the way down to the ground. Reduce speed and set flaps as needed as you make your way down the ILS.
Is the glide slope the green thing? Oh yeah, I see the glide slope. We'll turn on one flap.
We're approaching the runway. This approach has an offset, meaning that the localizer and runway aren't lined up together exactly. Focus on following the ILS for now. We'll transition to a visual landing once we're closer to touchdown. Make
We're
all
really
these small
close.
corrections and remember that each will be more critical as we approach touchdown.
I can't literally see
The
the
glide
runway.
slope is starting to drift away from center. You didn't follow the glide slope accurately enough. Great. Now is a good time to transition from flying on instruments to using visual cues to complete the landing. Get us down onto the runway and then come to a smooth stop.
Glide slope wants me to go down. The PDP also wants me to go down.
Watch out.
Oh, I didn't open the gear. Oh. What the fell? I forgot to open the damn gear. Okay.
Now is a good time to transition from flying on instruments to using visual cues to complete the landing. Get us down onto the runway and then come to a smooth stop.
I think the engines are all good. A little bit high. Perfect. High. Why did I fail?
Watch out!
The frick? Did I touch? What happened? Okay, I'm not gonna keep on doing this one because it's just weird. I shouldn't just die like that. See this one.
Alright, it's time to put what you've learned into practice. We're at 5,000 feet following a GPS route towards Sunberg. I'll ask you to perform some handling tasks to test your IFR flying skills. Follow the GPS as shown in magenta on your CDI, maintaining 5,000 feet and 110 knots.
This is 5,000, right? Yeah, this is 5,000. We're at the correct altitude. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, still maintaining the GPS course. Take us down to 3,500 feet, keeping 110 knots airspeed.
Easy. Just go down. Clouds are pretty annoying. The sun looks great. Look at that. Why are we going to 060?
500 feet. You didn't hold your altitude accurately enough.
Heading 060. What's going on? I'll just fly back to the GPS coordinates. Can't just go off course like this. I have no idea why they said to turn to 060. Hold on, let me decrease the motion blur. It looks a little weird now. It's still there. I don't know what that is then. I guess it's not the motion blur then. Let's just put it back then. nothing opening. Did it want us to like go to this place over here? Like this place over here. Wanted to go. Exactly does it want us to go? Because you're going a heading of 6060 and then just keep on flying this way? gotta restart this. I don't know what's going on.
Hold up.
This is weird.
Alright, it's time to put what you've learned into practice. We're at 5,000 feet following a GPS route towards Sunberg. I'll ask you to perform some handling tasks to test your IFR flying skills. Follow the GPS as shown in magenta on your CDI.
Don't sink, don't sink, don't sink, don't sink, don't sink, don't sink.
I was maintaining 5,000. What is all this? I don't know what's going on. I can't pass these levels for some